Hi, this is Cheryl Gallant, your Conservative Member of Parliament for the crime-fighting riding of Renfrew-Nipissing-Pembroke. After 8 years of this NDP Liberal Socialist coalition, crime is out of control. Car thefts are up 300% in Toronto and 100% in Ottawa and Montreal. This is happening because Justin Trudeau's dangerous catch and release policies have unleashed crime and chaos in our communities. Trudeau passed a law which allows repeat offenders to be released on bail within hours of arrest, who then often go and promptly reoffend. Police are powerless to stop the career car thieves. After offenders have been convicted, Trudeau's reckless Bill C-5 allows house arrest for these criminals, even those with a long rap sheet. They can sit at home playing Grand Theft Auto, then just walk out their front door and be on the streets again, immediately stealing cars and terrorizing our neighborhoods. A common sense Conservative government will go after the real criminals. We'll increase the mandatory prison time from 6 months to 3 years for a third offense of motor vehicle theft. We'll remove eligibility for house arrest if convicted of motor vehicle theft by way of indictment. Our party will create a new specific aggregating factor where the offense of motor vehicle theft is committed for the benefit of organized crime. And most importantly, we'll repeal catch and release rules in Trudeau's Bill C-75 to ensure that repeat offenders get jail, not bail. These common sense reforms to our justice system are important, but that's not all the federal government could be doing. Justin Trudeau's mismanagement of our federal ports has turned them into parking lots for stolen cars that disappear overseas. Canada Border Services Agency, or CBSA for short, is in charge of protecting our borders. But the Federal Port of Montreal, where the majority of stolen cars leave Canada, only has 5 agents to inspect the 500,000 containers that leave each year. They also have just one X-ray scanner that constantly breaks down. According to police, the CBSA checks less than 1% of all containers leaving the country. Has Justin Trudeau worked with CBSA to fix the problem? No. He's done exactly the opposite. Despite car theft skyrocketing, CBSA is seizing about the same number of cars today that the Federal Port of Montreal was years ago, frequently ignoring suspicious containers even after they've been reported. Meanwhile, Justin Trudeau continues to waste CBSA's money. Last year, Justin spent $15 million on useless management consultants at CBSA. And don't forget, he spent $54 million on the ArriveCan app, which not only did not work properly, but is currently being investigated by the RCMP for corruption. Canadians deserve a government that stops car theft. That's why our 2-part plan will clean up the Liberal mess at federal ports. A Conservative government will fire useless management consultants at CBSA and use that money to fix our federal ports. We'll invest in state-of-the-art X-ray equipment to allow for rapid scanning of our containers at the major federal ports. We'll purchase a total of 24 scanners. Common sense Conservatives will hire a special team of CBSA officers who will run the scanners and catch the stolen cars before they leave the country. We'll hire 75 CBSA officers to secure our federal ports. We've already budgeted out these costs. And let's hit the the brakes on car thieves, and protect our federal ports. Every day, Ukrainians are fighting for their very existence. They've asked for 83,000 missiles Canada is planning to dispose of. Instead, Trudeau has fashioned a special bomb to drop on them. Regular viewers may recall how one Liberal MP accidentally exposed the socialist agenda lurking behind so-called just transition legislation. That MP was Cody Blais. And once again, he slipped up and confirmed what we all suspected. The reason Trudeau wants to include language about carbon taxes in a free trade agreement is so he can bring in carbon tariffs. If a country such as Ukraine does not increase its carbon tax to match Canada's, then Trudeau will impose a special tariff. A tariff is what a tax is called when it's put on items from another country sold in Canada. Tariffs are taxes on imported goods. When Trudeau puts a tariff on something, he's putting a tax on it. Then, Canadians must pay this new special carbon tax every time they purchase an imported good. Just listen to what Cody had to say.
What I would say is this: we also have to give some context to what is happening around the world. The European Union, the United Kingdom, the Biden administration right now in the US are all talking about carbon pricing adjustments at their border. They are talking about putting carbon pricing as part of our economic trading model. And so I have to ask my Conservative colleagues that if we are going to cut carbon pricing altogether in this country, what could that mean for our industry, who then otherwise is going to face tariff barriers at those potential borders as we start?
So, the EU, UK, the US, and Trudeau are colluding on a tax. The Liberals' allies in the media continue to mislead Canadians about this trade agreement. There's certainly nothing free about it. They have ignored the fact that Trudeau is seeking the power to impose tariffs in a free trade agreement. The whole point of negotiating a free trade agreement is to reduce tariffs. Trudeau's trying to take advantage of Ukrainians when they're already vulnerable, fighting for their very existence. The Liberals even bragged about how they would delay the vote for 2 months so they could use it to smear Conservatives. Now, we have a Liberal MP revealing the truth about their plans for the carbon tariffs. Yet all we hear from the media is the sound of While Canada only has a small level of trade with Ukraine, we have a huge volume of trade with the United States. The United States does not have a carbon tax. If the Liberals can get away with imposing a carbon tariff on a country defending itself from a murderous dictator like Putin, then they will definitely impose one on the United States, especially if the United States elects a president Liberals don't like. Imposing a carbon tariff on the United States would be very popular with the radical far-left proud socialists who make up the remaining base of Liberal support. But just like the carbon tax, all it will do is push up the price of everything. The Trudeau Liberals are determined to make life unaffordable. They think your money should be their money, and they want it all. Live from Ottawa, this is Cheryl Gallant.